Are you looking for a great budget bivvy light? Well, you've come to the right place. Today I'm reviewing this. This is the Sunblesa Bivvy Light, and also in this video I'm going to be giving one of these away, so stick around to the end to find out how you can win. Hello and welcome to another episode of Operation Carp. Today I'm reviewing what is possibly one of the best budget bivvy lights on the market, which is this. Now this is the Sunblesa Bivvy Light. They spell light L-I-T-E, which is obviously part of the branding, and this comes in this lovely case. But I'm going to go into this in a bit more detail during this video and give you the lowdown on whether I would recommend this or not. Now, when I first buy a new product, I always like to document what my first impressions are of it. And I've actually had some Sunblesa items before, so I already knew I was setting the bar quite high on what I would expect. This did not let me down. So this bivvy light, it doesn't feel plasticky or cheap whatsoever, right? These are really solid bivvy lights, and I'll go into details about what it's made out of shortly. And that was one of my first impressions. I did actually own a previous version of this bivvy light, but this is an upgraded one, and I immediately noticed some of the differences. For example, there's a bung that keeps your sockets, hopefully that'll show you there, keeps your sockets nice and clean and dry, right? So that's like one initial thing I noticed straight away, so that's an improvement. But there's lots of other improvements in it that will hopefully become clear throughout the video. Another big improvement on this light compared to the previous one is the remote. Now with the remote on the last one, I did have a few issues over time. I actually did a review on that, which is on the channel, but over a bit of time I did have issues with that remote. It didn't seem quite as good, but they've completely upgraded it on the new one. The new remote you get is far superior, and that's this one. Looks a little bit like a car key fob, if I'm honest. You can see that there, right? So that's it, and you even get a nice handy lanyard with it, which was amazing because I've been testing this out on the bank with a couple of the other team members from Operation Carp, and we're well impressed is the crux of it, but we'll go into details on that a bit more later. But things like that lanyard and the improved remote gave me the real confidence to actually keep using it while out on the bank, and rather than having to keep bending over or getting up and going and press the light. When you've got the remote, it's so much easier and just makes it seamless, really. So yeah, that's a couple of them initial first impressions that I documented that I just want to make you aware of. When you're looking at bivvy lights, something you have to consider is the features of the product. So here I'm going to tell you about the features that you get with the Sunblesa Bivvy Light. So this bivvy light is made from polycarbonate, aluminium and ABS. It has a polished finish, okay, so it's very nice, and it's not all like matte finish and stuff. I think that's alright for a bivvy light because you generally aren't going to be touching it with wet hands, really. They could consider a matte finish in future, but I like the polished finish, it looks class. It has 3 light colours with this bivvy light, which you will see in these videos. So there is a white light, which is one that can be used for your photos. There's a green light, which can be used obviously to not be so blind at night, and there's also a red light. So each colour has its own low and high output. Now what I mean by that is the light can be slight, so it's only, so rather than you're waking up and it's suddenly like blaring bright in your face, it's just enough that you've got a bit of light there to be able to see what you're doing. Or you've got the high one, which is, everything's lit up, you can see everything really clear, which is really good if you're searching for something or you've lost something, which I'm an absolute nightmare on the bank for losing things or putting them in the wrong place. So when I was out this weekend testing it, for example, I constantly was using that. And I'll go into a bit more detail of the hours with that now. So basically, if you're using the low modes, you get up to 150 hours. Right, 150 hours. So you can put that low mode on, and you could even sleep with that on if you wanted to. I mean, I don't know why you'd want to, because generally you want to get a good night's sleep, but if you wanted a bit of light on there because you're worried about finding things when you get bites in the night or you're new to it, you can do that, and you're not going to have to worry that that light is going to run out and be dead by the time you get up, okay? On top of that, if you're using the high mode, so using it on its biggest output, then you will find that that will last about 7 hours, which again is still a really good amount. You're not just going to leave it on all the time. when I've taken it away for a week, or actually used it for a week whilst in Gigantica, I didn't charge it once. Yes, that lasted the entire week and I was using it every evening. The remote that comes with it works really well. So that works up to 10 meters away and it works by IR. And that also comes with a snap lanyard. So what I found really helpful with that is with that lanyard, when I was in bed, I have like a little pocket on the side of my bed, so I basically just had it in the pocket but with a lanyard hanging out. So rather than having to rummage in and I'm feeling like where my head torch is, where other bits are, where my phone is, stuff like that, I could literally just grab that lanyard that is hanging out and pull it straight out, so then I could have the light straight on if I wanted to, right? So it made it really easy. So that's a great addition that Sunblesa have clearly thought about before creating the product. Now, in terms of how you hang the light or have it up, that's been well planned as well. So on the top, you have like a little hook that you can use. So if you have a hook in your bivvy, there's a little metal ring that you can actually hang it off that, so you'd have it hanging down. But the bit and the way I've been using it is it basically has a metal strip. And what you can do with that, it detaches. So you can basically have that over the top of your bivvy, right? And then you put it near it and it sticks and it holds it solidly. So you can put that anywhere in your bivvy. So that light can be anywhere in your bivvy, it's completely protected, it's out the way, or you could even stick it to something else metal if you wanted to, you know, if you're outside and want to use it with something else. So that's another really good addition on there with that magnetic strip. The hard case is brilliant. It is a hard case and it's exceptionally hard even when the product's in there, but it's got enough padding on it that it is a solid one. I've had that lugging around in my bag now for months. There's no damage to it, zero damage. There's not even damage to the case. And I'm dropping bags and stuff all over the place, banging them up in the car. Yeah, and it's survived that well. I can say from my previous Sunblesa product as well, like the previous light I had, that lasted really well as well. So I know that their cases are good quality. In terms of waterproof, right? So I can't tell you exactly what rating it is or anything like that. I don't know, I couldn't find that out. But it is waterproof, it is dustproof. It does say that in the descriptions online, but I have tested that. So I've done a little video here to show you how much I was willing to risk it breaking with a water test. So this is what I did. We see from that, it didn't break. It's still working now. It passed the water test. You know, if it rains, it would, you know, it could be similar to that, to the amount I've sprayed on there, I'd imagine. It survived really well. It's waterproof. I'd suggest you don't want to be dropping it in the lake and then leaving it there or whatever. That will break it. Yeah, don't do that. I'd assume that would break it anyway, but who knows? But yeah, don't put it in the lake. But yeah, your general rain or whatever, it's still working. I was more than happy with that. Another bonus of this light is that it's a rechargeable, so you're not having to keep changing batteries and stuff like that. That can be a nightmare on the bank, especially if you need it at night and you've run out, you haven't got any batteries, it's dead, right? Whereas where it's rechargeable, you can just plan in advance, charge it off your power pack, or plug it in your power pack if it was to run out, so then you still have it working. But as I said, the battery lasts ages. It does give you a warning before it's going to run out as well, so it actually goes into a dimmer mode, which you would notice, so you would know, so you're not just going to get left in the dark. It also has a 2600 battery built into it, so you can use it as a mini power pack. If you were in an emergency situation, your phone had gone dead or something, you can actually charge off of this Bivvy Light, yeah? So that will give you enough power just to get them texts out or whatever you need to. An extra little, you know, useful emergency tool thing that you get from this light. As I also mentioned before, it has the rubber protection bit on the end, which means you're not just going to get all dust and crust and dirt and all sorts and stuff in there, so you can protect it by keeping that plugged in there, nice and protective, and not have it causing you problems with not working. So that's a real good extra feature you got on there. But I know what you're thinking, how does it actually perform on the bank. So I've done a little test that I'm going to show you here from inside my bivvy to show you what it's like. So my bivvy is a blackout one, it's a Fox, I think it's XD, so it really is a blackout one, but it gives you a good idea on how bright the light is when it's in its light mode and then the high mode, or low mode and high mode. And basically you will see during this video that it basically works by going, you can obviously turn it on using the remote, and I do use the remote in this video. You turn it on with the remote, you have it will start on the lighter setting, so the low setting, and if you press it again quite quickly, it will then go into the higher setting. So if you just pressed it, leave it a bit, and press it again, it'll turn it off. Whereas if you press it again, it'll go to the high option, then you press it again, it will then go to the coloured options, so obviously it goes to a green and it goes to a red. Yeah, so it would basically go low mode, high mode white, low mode, high mode, high mode red, low mode, high mode in green. Yeah, so it basically cycles through the colours that way, and then you press it again, it'll turn off. That works amazingly. Like, that remote is a game changer. I would not even consider buying a Bivvy Light now without that, because it just makes it so much easier. Something else that is worth mentioning here is that although this is a Bivvy Light, and I'm referring to it as a Bivvy Light because I do fishing, this is a fishing channel, etc., you can use this for loads of different things. You could use it when you go camping, you could have it in your shed to use in your shed whenever you go out there if you haven't got a light, you know, sit down the back of your house, in the garden, wherever, your garage. It's got lots of purposes you could actually use this light for, because it's very handy. So if you buy it, that's something I would stress, is don't think of you buying something just for fishing. Like, you can use this for lots of other things. It's a really handy light. Rather than having to rely on some crappy solar powered light in your garden or something like that, or one of these ones you've got to touch, you could just take that out with you, or have it set up somewhere outside anyway, because it is waterproof. So it's great. It's a great little light to have. I've already said the durability of it is really good. It's made from ABS and aluminium materials and polycarbonate, so it is solid, it's gonna last, and certainly for the price it is. You know, this isn't like a Jag kind of level product where you're paying those Jag prices. This is on the budget end, but it doesn't really feel budget. Yeah, this feels a really good quality light, in my opinion. As you've also seen during this video, it's water resistant. It can, you know, it's water resistant. I say water resistant as opposed to waterproof, right? So as I said, don't just throw it in the lake. Like, I don't want anyone commenting going, oh yeah, I threw it in the lake, Ross, because you said it worked. No, don't throw it in the lake, all right? Do not throw it in the lake. I was tempted to throw one in the lake just for the video, but I thought that'd be an absolute waste of money, so I didn't do it, okay? But it's water resistant, so don't worry about rain and that. It covers it. I've showed you a video with it with water on it. So there. Drop resistant. It's been bashed around in my bag and that. I'd suggest if you dropped it straight onto some rock hard concrete or something, it might not necessarily last, but it's been bashed around with me. Just don't be a klutz is probably the best way to make it survive, I'd suggest. What are the pros and cons of this light? Well, I would say one of the main pros is definitely the remote. It works really well with a remote. It gives you that flexibility to be able to use it without having to get out of bed or anything like that. You can just use it as and when you need to. I'd also say one of the other pros is the magnetic strip, because it means you can use it pretty much anywhere, because you've got that plus the hook. That's going to fit any bivvy. Yeah, you're not going to have to worry about, oh, will it fit my bivvy? Has my bivvy got a hook in the right place? You don't need to worry about that. The other positives I'd say is the battery life. Now, I've already given you the stats on that, but that is a good amount for something like this. You're not going to be charging it all the time, and as I said, it did last me a whole week on one charge in Gigantica. What more can you want? Another benefit for this is that if your battery was to run out, right, when you get into really low mode, rather than it doing what some would do, where when it's about to run out, it will just literally go dead, this knows that that's going to happen. So in advance, it will dim down so it's at a lower light level, so that you don't just get left in the dark, yeah? That's another really good point for this light. I would also say a benefit of this is the price. Now, at the point of making this video, when I looked on Amazon, it's currently selling, it is on offer, but it's selling for £20.99, which is a good price for a Bivvy Light. The kind of comparisons I was getting for it when I was doing my research online, it was bringing up the Ridge Monkey lights they do, which was, got it on my paper here somewhere. You got like the elite version, but that's £45, which is obviously a lot more money. You got the 200 version, which is 35, or the 150, which is 28. So that's probably the closest comparison. You've also got an NGT Lite, which is £19, and I'd say that is probably the closest to this. Looks fairly similar, but I haven't used it myself, so I can't really advise to use it. I've used some NGT products in the past, but I haven't used their Light guys, so I can't do a direct comparison and say is that better or this better. What I can say is I did look at the reviews on Amazon. Now the reviews for this Sunblesa Bivvy Light were far better, and it's got a higher rating, so review them for yourself if you want to get a good idea before investing with your hard-earned cash. So in conclusion guys, would I buy the Sunblesa Bivvy Light again? Yes, I would. I'd 100% recommend it. It's a really good budget light. You're not going to be spending a fortune on it, and it will last. Now, I did speak to Sunblesa regarding this, and they believe it will last up to 30,000 hours of use. 30,000 hours, that's loads. And they say it will last around 5 years. They're expecting it to last you 5 years, which is a good amount for an electric product nowadays. And let's be honest, it may and probably will actually last longer, I would suggest, unless it's being absolutely hammered or you're some legend that gets to stay out on the bank all the time and that we're all going to be massively jealous of. You're very lucky if you do that. Just saying. So now the bit you've all been waiting for. I'm giving away one of these Sunblesa Bivvy Lights, and if you want it, there is a simple way that you can get hold of it. All you need to do is subscribe to the channel. So subscribe to Operation Carp on YouTube. That's free to do, but it just means you'll be involved in and be able to see our future content. So please subscribe, hit that notification bell, and then in the comments, just write Bivvy Light. Yeah, so Bivvy Light, and then I'll check them against each other, and then I'll put them all into a random draw, and I will pick a name out, and then I will get in contact with you to win. Now, the way I'm going to do the draw is I'm actually going to do it over on the Facebook group. So if you go on Facebook and search Operation Carp Community, there's a Facebook group for Operation Carp. You can also get to that through this YouTube channel because there'll be a link below. And on there, if you join the group, I will do the draw in there and announce who the winner is. So get in it to win it, share it with your friends. Only one entry per person though. So yeah, so we won't go too crazy with the comments. Hi guys, one thing I do just need to add about this competition is that it is UK only, so I'm really sorry if you're watching from abroad anywhere, because I know people do, but it's mainly for costs, because otherwise I'll be massively out of pocket sending it to other countries, and it maybe even cost me more than what the item costs. So yeah, it's UK only for entrance, so please just remember if you do enter, because otherwise if I say you win and then you say, oh yeah, post it to me in Timbuktu, I won't be posting it and it'll go to someone else. So UK only, so just to make that clear, thank you guys. Thank you for watching this review of the Sunblesa Bivvy Light. If you've enjoyed the video, please remember to like and subscribe to the channel. Every single view and like and subscribe massively helps, especially when you're a small new channel like this. I really appreciate you taking the time to watch this, and I hope you found it valuable, and I hope you manage to get more fish on the bank on your next fishing trip. I wish you all every success. Tight lines.